Welcome to our last lesson. We've been doing so far so good. And today we are moving to our last lesson, lesson 12, under the process of writing. The process of writing is very interesting, is what we need to know. Why? Because most of us, we learned even how to speak our vernacular or our first language, and even we learned how to speak English without even knowing the alphabet. So it is easier to speak a language, but it's not that easy to write that language. And that is the emphasis I'm trying to put here. So I'm so excited that we are just moving to the last lesson. And here I'm just going to talk to students about how to prepare for essay questions during examinations. Why? Because like at, at the degree level, maybe at even from college level, degree level and master's level, PhD level and above, you find most of the questions, sorry, let me find myself something. Most of the questions are essay questions, and therefore it is very important that you understand how to approach essay questions so that you can be able to perform very well in your exam. So writing is the bedrock, it's the backbone of a language. Because if you can write a language, then you can do any other thing. But speaking a language alone and you cannot be able to write that language is not enough to convince people that you understand the language. Yes, there I come. So today our lesson 12 is about essays for examinations. So I'm going to talk about how you can handle essay questions during exam time. Now here, I'm not talking about before the exam. I'm talking about when the bell has rung and now you have been told start. Start. So what are you supposed to do? Therefore, in this lesson, you will learn common instructions for essay tests, techniques for writing timed essays and managing time. Yes. So we are going to learn two things. Common instructions for essay tests, then techniques for writing timed essays and managing time during the exam time. So let us look at essay tests. You may be asked to write essays for tests in your classes or in entrance examinations for colleges and universities in English-speaking countries. Like most of us, most of the time when we go to English-speaking countries, you find when they want to do some eligibility tests about you to see who you are and what have you, they may want to do it through essay questions. If not verbally, they want you to write. So I'm saying you will have to write essays if you take like the TOEFL exam. TOEFL means test of English as a foreign language. Yeah. Then there is another test, MELAB, Michigan English Language Assessment Battery. There is also another exam, IELTS, International English Language Testing System, or other Cambridge examinations. For example, University of Cambridge, Esson examinations. So these essays are written at one sitting in a limited amount of time. Sorry. So I want to take you through on how you can be able to handle these essay tests or questions. So we are going to look at instructions for timed essays, how to write a good timed essay questions. So, number one, when you are given an essay question, check to see how many questions you must answer. Some exams may say, choose 3 of the following 5 topics. You will not receive higher score if you write more than 3 essays. The examiner will probably just mark the first 3. So check also how many points the essay is worth. In a 100-point test, an essay worth 20 points should be longer and more detailed than one worth 5 points. So spend more time on the longer essays than on the shorter essays. Also, pay close attention to the instructions for each individual essay question. Pay close attention, watch out to the instructions for each individual essay question. Be careful, especially with the questions that have several parts. It is helpful to underline or circle key instructions so that you do not leave anything out. Take, for example, this question. Which effect of the California gold rush do you think had the biggest impact on the character of San Francisco today? Use examples to illustrate your answer. Now, such a question, they are saying which effect, meaning you have to know that there are several effects. Therefore, you have to mention, or in your outline, you write down several effects. Then you look at those effects, come up with one effect which had a biggest impact on the character of San Francisco today. Meaning, what if we go to San Francisco city today, what we can see, and we are able to say this is as a result of the gold rush. Use examples to illustrate your answer, meaning when you look at San Francisco today, there are living examples that you can be able to pinpoint and put across for we readers to be able to agree with you that this is what we can see. Meaning, out of several effects, choose one which had the biggest impact. And this impact produced several results that we can see even today. Another point as an instruction, use some of your time for planning. Don't just get the exam paper or the answer sheet and you start scribbling anything. Please spend some time and plan for what you want to write. Meaning, try to do brainstorming, gathering and organizing. And for proofreading your finished essay. So, what am I saying? Always write in complete sentences and pay careful attention to grammar and spelling. Don't ignore them. So, don't experiment with structures or words you are not confident about using correctly. Some of us, we tend to get moved by the exam and we are so excited and we are like, we want to be bombastic, we want to use the jargon, so we just pick jargon from here and there, and we're just trying to bombast the examiner. No, that will not earn you as much scores that you would require. But choosing your language properly makes sense and will communicate what you are trying to put across. Another instruction, write neatly. Examiners may give lower marks to essays they cannot read easily. So please make sure you write neatly so that what you've written is legible, can be seen clearly. Now, during this exam, what you are supposed to know is this, that you will have essays on different subjects, especially if you can remember the types of paragraphs we were writing. You remember we were looking at descriptive, process, compare, contrast, opinion, what and what. So they come. And therefore, if you can remember what we did previously, you are in a good position to do very well. So let us look at common instructions in essay tests. They can ask you, compare and contrast the following. Maybe two things, two people, two places, or two concepts. So when they ask you to compare and contrast, what are you supposed to do? First of all, remember this. As you learned in lesson 6, comparison contrast paragraphs talk about similarities and differences. So when you see compare and contrast, what should come in your mind must be that you are going to give similarities and differences between the concept under discussion. You can write on one paragraph to compare and another paragraph to contrast, or just compare and contrast a different idea related to your topic in each paragraph. So what are we saying here? We are saying that you can use block method where you look at similarities first, then after you have exhausted them, you move forward to write another paragraph that is now contrasting. Yes. Then you can also be asked in the exam, discuss the following idea or concept. So how do you approach such an essay? First of all, this broad term invites you to describe different ideas about that topic. To discuss, you look at both sides of the topic, the light, the dark, pessimistic, optimistic, advantages, disadvantages, and what have you of a thing, a person, a place, or an idea. So what do? Organize your discussion around a central thesis statement. So meaning, come up with your thesis statement. When you are told to compare and contrast, fine, you will talk about both sides of the topic. But at the end, you have to come up with the biased side, which you will lean. Yes, and therefore, your thesis statement for this must show, yes, it will mention the two sides, but it will say, okay, Mr. Musa is a good student, but on this, he's not a good person. So that is how you come up with it. Another way you can be asked an essay question, you can be told, explain or show how. Explain or show how. So what do they want? What does your examiner want from you when he asks you, explain or show how? These instructions ask you to show cause and effect. You may also find instruction like this for a problem solution essay, as discussed in lesson 7, if you can remember what we did in lesson 7. Another way you can be asked an essay question is show, describe, use examples. Here, make sure that you provide specific details to support your points. As you practiced in lesson 3, make sure that you provide specific details to support your points. You have to do that. You remember in lesson 3, we were looking at developing of a paragraph. So we were looking at using examples, using explanations, and using details. Now, another way you can be asked an essay question is which. So when you are asked which, it's like you have been given several. So out of them, you come up with one. So this word asks you to make a choice. Often a question with which will also ask you to defend your choice. After you pick that choice, you have to go on to defend it. For example, which solution would you recommend and why? Yes, there is a problem. So which solution would you recommend and why? Meaning you will choose out of several solutions, the one you think it is appropriate. So make sure that you clearly indicate your choice in your answer. Then don't try to write about each possibility. No, write only about one possibility. Let us look at answering directly, meaning essay test shortcuts. You know you are tired. So what shortcuts can you use to be able to beat the time? Yeah, instead of the time beating you. So we're saying time is limited. So it is a good idea to take certain shortcuts in essay tests. How? Most importantly, you should write a very short introduction, just 1 or 2 sentences. It's okay, which includes your thesis statement. So we're saying your introduction, which is the first paragraph, must have a thesis statement, which is found towards the end of that paragraph. You are trying to beat time. Do not include the background information you might normally include in an essay. Don't do that. Make sure that your thesis statement directly answers the questions. Don't meander around. Make sure it is precise, straight to the point, answering the question. Your answer should show that you know the information that the test asks about. So extra information or any information that is not related to your topic will not help you get more marks. So your conclusion should also be brief. And you remember we said the conclusion paragraph restates the thesis statement found in the topic, in the introduction paragraph. And it does also summarize key points discussed in the main body of the essay. How do you manage your time? It is very important that you manage your time. If you want to manage your time well, write a 5-minute outline. Before you write a test essay, please write a quick outline, Scribble on the question paper or even on the answer sheet. Because when you scribble there and it happens that the time is up before you finish, the examiner can give you marks for that outline and can realize that you ran out of time. That is why you are not able to exhaustively write the essay. This is the easiest way to be sure that your answer includes all the necessary information and that you don't waste your time with unnecessary information. With practice, you should be able to write a brief outline in no more than 5 minutes, including the thesis statement and main ideas. You have to come up with that outline, that skeleton, that plan. Before you write anything else, write your outline at the top of the page. Do it, because you'll be looking at it as you write. If you run out of time to finish your essay, your instructor will still be able to see your main ideas and will know that you had a problem with the time and not with the content. Get it clear? Let us look at an example here of an essay question, and we want to see how you can come up with an outline and also how you understand that question, like how many parts of the questions, how many parts are in that question, so that when you are answering, you make sure you have answered all parts. And don't just be excited when you have answered one part exhaustively and you have forgotten other parts. It will frustrate you. Now, the topic is this. At university, would you rather live alone with your family or with a flatmate? Give reasons to support your answer. Let me come again. At university, would you rather live alone with your family or with a flatmate? Give reasons to support your answer. So from this question, a wise and clever student, a smart student, can realize that there are 3 options. So you have to make your choice. You choose one out of them, out of the 3. Then you go ahead to support the one you have chosen. So how are you going to do this? Let us look at sample outline 1. How you come up with a quick 5-minute outline from this question. So Roman 1, you will say, I would rather live with my family to save money. Now that is a thesis statement, and it's showing what you have chosen, your choice. Then Roman 2, no rent. Roman 3, save money on food. Roman 4, don't have to pay bills. So this is the support of as to why this particular student would rather live with his or her family, because this student will be able to save money, and you can see it in the outline. Then, now, there is something I want you to capture. Now, under Roman 4, don't have to pay bills. We come up with A, electricity, B, water, C, phone. So under idea 4, we have supporting ideas, A, B, C. Now idea 4, conclusion. The writer says, if I save on my living expenses, I will have enough money to pay for tuition and books. So you can see how this conclusion, it has a restatement of the thesis statement found in Roman 1. Let us look at sample outline 2, because sample outline 1, this writer has chosen to live with his or her family. So sample 2, Roman 1, which is now a thesis statement. Living alone is the best way for me to learn independence while I'm at university. You can see that thesis statement is very strong. Roman 2, will learn how to take care of myself. Then supporting ideas. A, cook my own food. B, do my own housework and washing. Now, Roman 3, meaning idea 3, will learn to manage my money. Roman 4, conclusion. University is a time not only to study, but to learn to be an independent adult. Living alone will help me learn how to handle this responsibility. So you can see clearly in this conclusion, the writer has restated the thesis statement that living alone is the best way for me to learn independence while I'm at university. And this writer has also summarized key ideas or points in the body. So, what I'm saying is, okay, now let us move to, after now you have come up with the outline as we have seen in the two samples. Write your topic sentence first. Write your topic sentence first. So how do you do this? Some students like to first write the topic sentence for each main point on the answer sheet, leaving space to go back and fill in the details. Some students will do that. If you choose this method, you can add information and examples to each paragraph until you finish all your time, before your time runs out. If you run out of time, you may leave out some details, but you won't leave out any main points. That is the importance here. Because the main points in each paragraph are contained in the topic sentence of that paragraph. So if you have mentioned that, I don't think if you will be able to lose a lot of marks. Then, checking your work. After you've written, you have to check your work. So after you finish your essay, or at least 5 minutes before your time is up, take some time to check your work so that you are satisfied that what you've written is attractive to, and it will be able to convince your examiner. Read the essay from beginning to end to see the flow, to see what you are trying to communicate. Although you cannot read your essay out loud unless you are alone, try to hear what it would sound like in your head, and therefore in your reader's head. So, as a custom, I'm saying that I will end this last lesson in our writing process by 2 proverbs. 2 proverbs. That is now proverb number 7. A drowning man will clutch at a straw. A drowning man will clutch at a straw. When someone is in a difficult situation, he or she will take any available opportunity to improve it. I'm saying when someone is in a difficult situation, challenging situations, he or she will take any available opportunity to improve it, even if the opportunity is fragile, is weak. That is all one has at hand. For example, after trying all reliable medicines, he is now visiting quacks to get a cure for his baldness. Baldness. I think I should also look for these quacks so that I can get a solution for my bald. A drowning man will clutch at a straw. Now, when you go for quacks and you leave practitioners, you are clutching on anything, on a straw. Yeah. Paragraph number 8. Adversity and loss make a man wise. Adversity and loss make a man wise. So, what are we saying here? We gain wisdom faster in difficult times than in prosperous times. It is true. When you are in a difficult time, you tend to think faster, logically. Yeah, you do all that. So what are we saying? An example. After losing money in my investments, I know which investments to avoid. It is rightly said, adversity and loss make a man wise. Yes, adversity and loss make a man wise. And that's what, when we say that the goal we seek has gone through fire. What is fire? Fire are sometimes failures that we encounter, we experience up our life. So today I'm ending this course, academic writing, where we have looked at 12 lessons, and I have summed up the course by looking at the last lesson, which is talking about the techniques, the instructions that we expect candidates, students, learners to apply in the exam when they are handling essay questions. This lesson 12 has helped me a lot. Even to be a good writer, it is through writing essays that you can be able to do very well. Even in the exam, I would take like 10 minutes. If the questions, maybe we've been given 7 questions and you are told to answer 4 questions, most of the time, I have not rushed to start writing. No, I take time to scribble. First of all, you read through the 7 questions, you choose the 4. After you have chosen the 4 questions out of the 7, what do? Go to the first question you have chosen, see what you can remember about the question. Scribble on the exam paper. Just write what you can remember about it. Just scribble there. Yes. Go to question 2, do the same. Question 3, do the same. Question 4, do the same. After that, come back to question 1. Now, when you come back to question 1, you see what you have scribbled. Now, what else have you remembered about question 1? Scribble there. Add. Go through the 4 questions. Do the same. Now, come and start writing. I'm telling you, you will not even lift your head. You will write throughout until you finish. That has been a technique I have used successfully. I can attest to it. I can testify about it. And I know most of you will attest to it. That is a formidable way to approach essay questions in the exam. Not just English exams alone. No. In all other exams you take, and given that you are to write essays or paragraphs, whatever they would be, I'm just persuading you and telling you without mincing my words that if you don't follow this lesson 12, you will not be a good writer. Otherwise, I can say thank you very much for having taken your time for the last 12 days that I've been able to execute this course to you. And if you have any question, please, you are free to ask me. Very soon, I'll be coming up with my website, which we shall be interacting. I'll be offering online courses at a cost-effective fee, which any person would be able to afford, because my main objective is to reach so many people who are learning English, who want to know English, who want to be good, who want to be formidable, who want to be people that you can look at and you say, okay, this person has the command of the language. Yes, you might be a native of a given language, but you are not an expert in that language. That one I have to is food for thought, and I'm just saying it. Even me, I know my first language, my second language, and my third language is English, but you see, I'm not that perfect in my first language. There are those who are better than me, even when it comes to all parts of the language. They are better than me by far. And by the way, when I was in primary school, high school, even at the university, girls, ladies were doing better than me in English. I don't know why. Psychologically, maybe this can be explained why women or ladies are very good in language than men. Otherwise, thank you. I want to say one thing again. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. I hope this course has been beneficial to you, has helped you, has moved you. Maybe it might not have moved you that big to a higher level, but whatever difference, whatever behavioral change you have undergone because of this course, I just say Alhamdulillah, Rabbi Almi. I just say that. Alhamdulillah. Follow me and go on following me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and just follow Philemon. And this course came to you courtesy of Fun and Feel Academy. This is an academy that is offering different courses, languages, sciences, social sciences, business courses. And this is what you will be learning from me and my other co-lecturers on different subject areas that will be of importance to you. Otherwise, I have just to say thank you very much. And I'm now inviting you to my next course where I'll be talking about grammar. And I'll be very much biased in communicative grammar. Communicative grammar. It is an advanced grammar. It's not a simple grammar. It is advanced, but I will take you through because I'm the only person who took my father's cows to drink water. And there was one cow by the name Kenya. It was called Kenya. You know, in my country, we name our domestic animals. We give them big names, and they tend to behave like those names. So it was called Kenya. So, you know what happened? This cow refused to drink water, and I was sure when my dad comes in the evening, this is the same notorious cow that will start in the homestead, will start behaving, trying to go to any container, showing that it needs to drink water. And when my father sees that, he concludes that I didn't take the whole herd to the river to drink water. So what did I do? I said, Kenya. Hello, Kenya. I got hold of its horns. Then, you know, it used to play with me. And you know what I did? I just pressed into water. And by inhaling, some water got in. and it drank some water. Well, thank you, and thank you very much.